Good morning. Welcome to the Select Board meeting for December 30th, 2024 at the ungodly hour of 11 a.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
So thank you for the board having this special meeting. I suspect this is happening across not just Massachusetts, but all over the country. Similar meetings are occurring. Hey, hi, Brian. Because I was reading newspaper articles that they're having to deal with this sort of thing. So what we're trying to avoid is a situation that though the board had allocated monies for various ARPA projects months and months and months ago, some of the projects did not move forward as quickly as others. We talked to Melanie and I talked to the auditors a few days ago, and one of the things they said, you need to nail these down. You need to have commitments on hand, not just that you went out to bid or you were thinking of going out to bid, but you've got to have a bid in and you've got to have something. Contract would be wonderful, but at least a letter back to Acme, whoever, to say, we're accepting your bid, we're accepting your proposal, please proceed. If we don't have that by tomorrow, then we will lose this money. In fact, there's a directive from the feds that says, if you haven't used that money, if you haven't committed that money, not used it as in the work is done, but you need to have made the commitment, you will return that money. That's true for Plymouth County, it's true for us. So what we need, we're having everybody who's still has projects that are outstanding, to work with the board, work with Melanie, and we go through those projects that are still open to say, do we have a commitment that we've made for project X? If we have, do we have the documentation so that Melanie can show the auditors that are coming in tomorrow, but when the auditors do come in to review the federal monies that we receive, not just for this, but other federal monies, that we'll have the backup. If we don't, then what we're asking is that the board transfer that money from that project. There may be some other time, some other place we can get that project done, but it won't be an ARPA project, to the overall road account for DPW. The reason for that is we've already made those commitments, we already have contracts and everything like that. And because it's town money, not Plymouth County money, any category is fine, any use of the money is fine. We'll be able to say to the auditors and to the federal government, yes, we've had made those commitments, and we won't be returning any of the money. Thank you very much.
If it's okay, if I could just go through this list of the projects and where they stand and what money's been, so everyone's on the same page, and then I think at the end what you could probably do is, I'm not sure, but vote on this list as printed as the final, but that we can decide that after. But I think it'd be best to just kind of go through.
Can I just ask one question
Yeah.
first, Chad? Plymouth County money, that's all
We're
done?
set.
We didn't give any back?
No.
And we just got, that was the first thing I was gonna say, is that this morning we just got our last two approvals that we were waiting on, so every Plymouth County project
great.
is approved.
Good job.
Thank you for that.
So,
Yeah, good job,
thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Yeah, Melanie did a lot of work working with Plymouth County to meet their
They were
document
paying, but-
requirements and everything like that. I mean,
My
I'm
sister-
glad they're doing that. It was burdensome in one sense, but on the other hand, I know that, I think we had it easier than many communities in other counties and other areas of the state that we're dealing with the state rather than the county. So, and, you know, because they're interested in not returning the money, but they're also interested in making sure when they're audited, they're going to meet the requirements of the federal.
So I shrunk down the spreadsheet, so it just has the project, if you guys have already approved it, what was originally requested, and then the two columns show whether it was our state money, which, like Charlie said, we could spend on really anything except for a few things, and then the Plymouth County money. So the town hall sign, we got a contract for $30,205 to do the town hall sign, and that's been approved by Plymouth County. The sidewalks on Union Street, John had a contract with the main paving vendor for $581,470, so that's been approved by Plymouth County. He he has basically incidental costs of police details and things like that, of $78,530 for state money. And that gives him the total $660 that was requested for the project. And then the pavilion was taken off the list because that wasn't able to move fast enough, and the same with the Sachem Rock safety improvements on the trails. That project didn't seem to move. We did $38,000 for the off-site backup through IT. That project's completed. The permitting software, we have a contract for $60,000. That project is more than halfway completed. Church Street shed repairs was originally requested at $61,000. John has a contract for the shed repairs for $37,644. Church Street lighting was originally requested $80,414. What we've done here is between the lighting and the renovation, I think we've shifted a little money between the two. It still comes out less than what was requested if you combine those two projects. But what there is still left to do, for the lighting, I believe Brian has $35,000 worth of lighting equipment that's been purchased or is ordered. And then $27,000 of installation costs for that lighting. And then the Church Street renovation, John Haynes has a $23,500 fencing project that's contracted, and John Shea is ordering about $6,500 of bench equipment, and he's ordering that today and tomorrow so that will be all set. So again, the money is shifting a little between those two, but it's essentially a similar project, the lighting and the renovation project, and it's still less than what was originally requested. The scoreboard was requested at $17,000 for Strong's Fields. They spent $3,500 on engineering, and then they have a contract for $5,744 for the scoreboard and $3,950 for the electrical work.
Melanie, can I speak on that for a second?
Yes, please.
I just want to be transparent. So the scoreboard project, I had a structural engineer come out to review the beams, and he deemed that those beams were not usable anymore. So this amount, the $13,194, does not include new beams. It includes the scoreboard and electrical work. So we will have to purchase new beams, which we can do hopefully for the rec committee, but I just want to make sure you're aware of that. They're metal beams that need to be installed.
But we're confirming we have a proposal, we've made a commitment back to the vendor saying, yes, proceed to.
For the beams?
No, for the scoreboard.
If everything gets approved today, I will send a PO as soon as I get back to my office.
Any idea on how much the beams would
I
cost?
have no idea. But the rec committee has over $40,000 in the account based upon rentals at Strong's Field, so it shouldn't be anywhere near that.
We have the outdoor movie system for $12,000, that's complete. The Leland Farms feasibility study was requested for $20,500, that did not move forward. The roof replacement for the youth sports buildings, $18,740. John has a contract for that. The playground equipment was with Plymouth County, $49,960, and that's been ordered, correct? The playground equipment? Or we have a contract?
Yeah, we have a contract. I'm dealing with the guy on some colors.
And then the $600,000 for the social emotional, that's all set and approved and spent. The high school backstop, that John got a bid for $52,440 for a contract for the backstop. Mitchell School, this is one I have highlighted. I have 74,102, but is that was a Brian, we were talking through this. This one's a question mark on my page, the Mitchell School security enhancements.
Well, and technically, they're energy improvements. They're not so much security because.
Yes, and Mitchell School.
Yes.
Yes.
In the sense that the new door systems would be more energy efficient. They'd let less heat out and everything like that. There's obviously, it's nice that they make the place more secure, but in terms of going out to bid and
Right,
everything,
right.
because these would be energy improvements, we can do that. But we've got a contract, what do we got?
We have quotes.
And so similarly today, if the board says yes, you'll send them a commitment to proceed?
Be a little bit
There
more
was a lot of
positive.
confidence in that,
Yeah.
yes.
Was that a yes?
Yeah, that was a yes.
Oh, okay.
Sounded more like a yes.
Strong maybe.
Snow blowers. Snow blowers for $35,000, those are already purchased. And the Mitchell School sign, that was a quote, we got a contract also there for $30,205. They did both for the same price. So that one's in the works, I'm imagining, just 2 signs, that's on the vendor now, right? We did the ambulance way back when for
Well, and the sewer we dropped out.
Oh, I'm
because
sorry, I
we-
skipped that. The
we could
sewer
not-
we did.
It was going to be complex because we'd have to go out to bid if it was engineering money, and of course, we never got, because we're waiting to get the approvals from the feds, we never got, we're able to move ahead and make a commitment this calendar year for the construction work, so that had to get dropped out.
So we did, yeah, we had got that money up front. We returned that money and now it will be sent back to us for the other projects that were approved. The body cams was also way back when, 53,000. The turf fields, we did some money from Plymouth County's money that we had an allocation of 557 that we could spend on a wider variety of things, and then we used 344 of the state money towards the turf. The next couple were all things that were all passed over throughout the whole process. Until you get to Maple Ave sidewalk, we had added that once we realized some of the projects weren't gonna come in. That was able to be Plymouth County money because it connects the low-income housing in the center of the town, so that was a project John already was working on, so we were able to get $135,000 of Plymouth County money towards that project. The town hall generator, we had an overage of $13,000. This was a few months ago that Brian has paid, but the next one that we do need to talk about is the $24,000 that is earmarked right now, whether we need that earmark or not.
I'm still pursuing the $24,000 to the subcontractor, but in the process, the $24,000 is owed to FM Generator, who has graciously given us a $3,000 credit towards it. So I'd like to pay them. They're not at fault here, but they're not getting paid. Well, pay them with ARPA funds while I'm pursuing the reimbursement from the third party.
What do you think the best
I mean,
to do there?
yeah, I mean, we've made the payment, we've made the commitment. That we get money from some other source later on,
And
I
that
would
just-
hope it doesn't affect it.
Okay, all right, so that one's all set. Fire equipment, was ordered for $205,000 and also $81,000. They were defibrillators and
CPR.
CPR machines, I believe. They were all, things that needed to be upgraded, so this frees up some money, on Tim's side. Library HVAC was something that, as we realized, like some of the projects weren't gonna come through. The library HVAC project that was done, paid for, that was eligible for Plymouth County, so we're almost reimbursing ourselves for money we spent on that project because that it was a ventilation project, so it fell under that health improvements. So if everything stays the way I've just listed, it leaves about $153,897 towards what Charlie said is we'd hope to move that over to John's road repairs line, knowing, or assuming, he can correct me if I'm wrong, that he's spent at least $153,000 this past year that was contracted, that we would basically swap out.
So you're looking for expenditures that we could apply towards.
Or a project that's contracted already for the spring. But
Because I had previously sent 3 or 4
yes.
proposals that I
Which
had
would
received.
cover this.
One of them.
Mhm.
Yep, so I just need, again, a bigger discussion at some other point, but the thought process was, do we want to utilize some of these ARPA funds towards addressing the roads that we just recently accepted at town meeting? Or do we apply them towards roads that were already in the capital plan? We need to have a discussion at some point about how the town wants to proceed with fitting those unaccepted roadways into our overall capital pavement plan.
Well, it should be a wash, and what I think is that if we've already made a commitment and done the work, that's the cleanest way of handling it.
I think what John's saying is almost outside of the ARPA
Yeah, I'm just
conversation,
trying
right?
to, exact, to an extent, on how this additional, but this isn't really an additional 153,000. We're gonna apply work that we already did in
Mhm.
this construction season.
Which frees up
Towards
100.
Frees up, so it's
Okay.
basically
All
an
right.
additional 150.
In the, okay,
Yeah.
just so Lynn and I can get this straight in our head when we go back.
Right.
and hold
Yeah,
this.
so you just kind of have to tell me what projects you've done either year to date or what projects you've contracted for the spring
Okay.
but would have to be contracted as of now.
Yep.
And then those will get moved, those expenses will get moved
Sure.
over to ARPA.
So then that essentially frees up.
The 153, which then you can have that discussion
Then you'd have to make a
of-
plan as to whether to apply that to newly accepted roads
Right.
or do something else with it. Okay.
Could I just ask one question on the 24,000 for the generator? If we get reimbursed with that, then do we have to give that back to the feds, or what?
I
do
would
we
say
do with
no,
it?
because we made a commitment, we've spent the money, that we, as I mentioned, we end up with money from another source, it'll just be sitting in our coffers.
Okay.
Melanie will just list it as a miscellaneous receipt
Right,
from another
that's-
source, it won't be attached to anything that we're doing.
This is the quote.
All right.
Melanie, did the funds for the middle school sign include electrical?
I
John,
don't
do you know that?
believe, I don't know, I didn't, the bids for the signs.
No,
I believe we added 9,000.
So we couldn't add it to the Plymouth County money because it wasn't contracted. The contract is only for the sign, so that money is not included.
and probably that's true for both of those things, because we.
We haven't contracted anyone for electrical work at this point.
Well, we could use $150,000, that's going back to the DPW.
If we can
But unless we have a
contract it
contract.
between now and
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Yeah,
No, I mean, if.
No, he's
if-
saying
if
we're
we-
gonna have a
Have extra money.
extra.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
during the, during.
Out of the 153,000, can we switch over 18 grand somehow?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that,
You could pay an invoice for electrical
Right.
work from that.
I mean, we do a line
That
item
you're
transfer
freeing
if
up.
it's necessary. Yeah.
you guys can keep that one out, right? I think everything came together pretty well in the end. I know John's been going crazy.
Again, a tremendous job by everyone that's been involved in this ARPA thing,
There's a lot of work.
moving parts.
including Plymouth
Everybody,
County
there
for
was a
what
lot
they
of
did,
work.
again, a lot of the meat work was being done here, and again, we appreciate all that. But, yeah, I see, yeah, I think we should just a motion to move the 153.
I make a motion to move the money.
You want the whole thing,
I think
As-
that's the easiest, just because some of these are
updates.
a little different, you know.
Right. I make a motion that we accept the financial proposal of these invoices and projects as printed.
Second.
Any further discussion? Everyone happy with where we're going? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Motion to, are we done?
Yes.
Motion to
It's the only
adjourn.
thing on the agenda.
Done.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Happy New Year,
Aye,
everyone.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you.